Hi, I'm Big and I live in my 2011 BMW. I'm making this video for those who need to hear it, the guilty. And I want to talk a little bit about the law. If you're guilty of a crime and you want to confess to your crime, you wish to take accountability for your crime, you only need to make one simple move, and that's to go to your local police department, and they will put you in contact with the magistrate. Go to the magistrate. The magistrate has the ability to oversee or hear a case or a complaint. If a person wishes to confess to a crime and forego a formal court proceeding, all they have to do is go to the police department, say that they're turning themselves in or they're confessing to a crime and they would like to see the magistrate. And the magistrate, again, has the ability to oversee the proceeding right there at the window. I know there's sometimes the magistrates have digital interface, but they can oversee your case right there. And if anybody tells you otherwise, they're lying to you. Lying. Not every case needs to go to court. Not every case needs to go to court. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to representation in a court of law. And if you choose not to have representation in a court of law or on any legal proceeding, like when you go to a magistrate, you can be pro se. That means you are representing yourself. You have the right to a speedy trial. What does that mean? That means that if you confess to a crime, you can have the magistrate hear your case right there. And they can adjourn your case, adjudicate your case right there. You don't need to go to court. You don't have to wait. 3 weeks? 3 weeks, I think they give you, 14 to 21 days, something like that. You don't need to do that to have a court date set. You don't have to wait 14 to 21 days to have a court date set. And that date is probably going to be set months in the future. You don't have to do that. You can go to the magistrate. You also have the right to appeal a decision. Whether you go to the magistrate and his word or her word is binding, or if you choose to have a hearing, have a case heard in a court of law. If you choose to have a case heard in a court of law, then of course you have a hearing date, and then they'll set actual court dates for your case to actually be adjudicated, but we're not talking about that. But if you choose to have a case heard in a court of law, you have the right to two types of proceedings. One of two. It is a bench trial where a judge would adjudicate your case. Or you have the right to a jury trial, which is supposed to be composed of 12 jurors and one alternate, I believe. And they are supposed to be comprised of people from the community, a group of your peers, quote unquote. People, random people with various backgrounds, to overhear the details in your case. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about confessing to a crime, holding yourself accountable, and going to the police department, who will then put you in contact with the magistrate, and having the magistrate oversee your case right then and there at the window or through the digital interface, if that's how they do it in your town. But you can have your case heard by the magistrate and be done. So I'm making this video for those who are guilty. If you're guilty of a crime, you wish to confess, you can have the whole ordeal over and done with by going to the police department, confessing to your crime, and asking to have your case, having the matter heard by the magistrate, and having the magistrate make the decisioning on your confession to a crime. And the magistrate will tell you at the window or through the digital interface something to the effect of this: do you understand what you are doing? You are confessing to a crime, and I have the right to sentence you or not based on the matter that's presented before me. You say yes. You say no. If you say no, then of course they'll have to get somebody to interpret it for you. You have a problem understanding English, or he'll probably say, or she'll probably say, that it's probably best that you seek legal counsel. Can you afford an attorney? And then they go through the procedures and having someone assigned, as in a public defender, because a public defender is someone who is assigned by a court. Somebody by the state, by the municipality is assigned. A private attorney, and I got to say this too, because some people out here just don't get it. Those people you see on billboards, those people you see online, those people you see, they used to have advertisements, in the yellow pages. I don't think they have yellow pages anymore. Those are private attorneys. You have to pay them, and they can choose not to take on your case. So just because you go and talk to an attorney that's a private practice attorney, they don't have to take on your case. Let me just put that out there. But a public defender, someone who has been assigned to you by a municipality, generally speaking, has to take on your case unless their caseload is too much, or there's some other reason why they have to excuse themselves and they have to go through the court if they've already been assigned and have the judge okay them being excused from the case, etc., etc. But let's focus on the magistrate. And if you tell the magistrate that you understand that he or she has the ability to overhear your case, to adjudicate your case, that is, render a decision on your case, and that decision is binding, then he will hear what you have to say. Okay? That will save any purported victims in the case from having to go to court. It's a very straightforward, morally, what's the word I want to use? It's a way to save other people in time and energy from having to deal with any emotional, mental, abuse or challenge that may come with having to go through a formal court proceeding when you know that you're already guilty. It saves them. It saves the court. So if you are guilty, confess. Go to the police precinct, ask to speak with the magistrate, confess to your crime, and be done with it. I thank you for watching. I thank you for your time. I thank you for watching, and take care.